sink so quickly. Forensic metallurgist Jennifer Hooper McCarty is piecing together the events that took place on that fateful journey. She is re-examining forensic evidence recovered from the wreck, along with survivor testimony and archive records from 1912.
We have very little knowledge of what that impact was like. What we do know is only based on the survivor testimony from 1912.
2 weeks after the sinking of the Titanic, a British public inquiry is held. A panel of judges will decide who was to blame for the disaster and loss of over 1,500 lives. The key witness is Bruce Ismay, the 50-year-old chairman of White Star, the owner of Titanic. He is one of the few men who survived the maiden voyage. Wireless operator Harold Bride and Second Officer Charles Lighthaller also testify. These three men's testimony are vital in deciding who was to blame.
Call Mr. Ismay.
I gather that you yourself gave the instructions for the building of the Titanic.
Yes.
And of course you considered the question of floatability of the ship in cases of accident or emergency.
We did.
Did you give any special consideration to the question of providing additional lifeboat accommodation?
I think the position was taken that the ship was looked upon as being practically unsinkable. She was looked upon as a lifeboat herself.
Two years before the scheduled launch date, Ismay met with his chief designer, Alexander Carlisle.
Entrance. The staircase needs to be much grander. The bulkhead will have to be lowered. Is there a problem? Isn't she safe? Of course. Excuse me.
The bulkheads are partitions used to create watertight compartments in the hull of the ship, each of which could be isolated and sealed off to contain flooding in the event of an emergency. The higher the bulkheads, the safer the ship, as it would be more likely that water could be contained within any damaged compartments.
Each of the 16 compartments is watertight. In the event of a leak, each compartment can be sealed off by an electric-powered door operated from the bridge. Even if 4 compartments flood, she'll stay afloat. Good. Let's lower the bulkheads then.
The height of the watertight compartments will be lowered to just 3 meters above the waterline.
உங்களுக்கு சரியா